What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Chidi Gains. Welcome to another video. I've got a very special video for you guys today. Today I'm going to be speaking about how to improve your bench press. How do we get a bigger bench press? Everybody wants to know this. If you're a lad that goes to the gym, everyone's gonna be asking you, how much do you bench? Do you even bench, bro? Like, that is one of the biggest things that people wanna know. It's one of the biggest flexes if you have a big bench. And also it feels very cool as well, getting underneath the bar, putting some plates on and repping it out. So how can you increase the number on your bench press? I'm going to be giving you 5 main tips and then some bonus tips as well. I myself have benched 185 kg, so I know a little thing or two about benching. Tip number 1, to improve your bench press, you have to bench multiple times in the week. So you need to increase the frequency of bench press. This means that you're going to have to bench 3 times a week, 4 times a week, sometimes even 5 times a week. I'm not saying go for a 1 rep max every time. I'm not saying go for 80% plus of your maximal bench press every time. All I'm saying here is you need to increase the frequency. This will allow you to be able to work on your form, work on your technique. You'll be able to get more familiar with the movement, okay? So the motor pattern of the movement, okay? The signal that goes to your brain and tells your body to perform that movement is going to become very, very smooth. The bench press is a very technical movement, so frequency is very important. Literally just do a plate, okay? That's it. Just do a plate. Or if you're not strong enough to do a plate, that's fine. Just do the bar, okay? Hopefully you're strong enough to do the bar. If not, then literally do a 15 kg bar, or literally just practice the technique. Don't use anything if you're not even at that stage yet. Bench press more regularly, around 3 to 5 times a week to start off with. Low weight, do it continuously. This is going to allow you to refine the technique. Number 2, you need to work on your technique and you need to drop the weight in order to do this. So the first couple of weeks should literally just be you bench pressing more and you working on your technique. With the bench press, there is a lot that goes into it in terms of technique. There's a lot that you need to know, there's a lot that you need to understand, especially if you're going just for pure strength, getting the weight from point A to point B. For hypertrophy, for muscle gain, is a little bit different because you're not so concerned with just pure power. You're concerned about contracting the muscle as effectively as possible. But if we're just trying to put numbers on our bench press, technique is important. The way that you refine your technique is by 1, watching videos of proper technique, and then practicing it, recording yourself and reviewing it. This is the easiest way. You're not gonna know if you haven't watched yourself do it. You can't just feel it. Like, there's certain things that you think you're doing that you're probably not doing, and there's something that you're doing and you probably don't think you're doing. Just some technique pointers going from the feet all the way up to the head, okay? Your feet needs to be set up just wider than shoulder width apart, pointed outwards a little bit, and you need to be driving your legs down and forward into the floor to generate leg drive. So before you even start to bench press, you need to think about the setup as well. Usually, if you're trying to get the weight from point A to point B as fast as possible with the bench press, you're going to require a little bit of arch, a little bit of pulling your shoulder blades back and depressing them down. This is going to allow you to reduce the range of motion a little bit. I'm not speaking like go all the way up or you're a complete dome when you've got like 5 inch of range of motion. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting your shoulder blades in the right position to protect your shoulders so that you can actually have a more stable structure to be pushing from. Okay, if you're not retracting your shoulder blades are not pulled back, it's going to be very loose, you're not very stable, and when you've got 3, 4 plates on the bar, say 4 plates, I haven't actually ever benched 4 plates. The most I've done is, actually, have I? No, I've done almost 4 plates. Actually, no, I have done 4 plates. I've done 185 kg. I have done 4 plates. Get your shoulders retracted. I digress. Get your shoulders retracted, get them depressed, and get yourself in a nice, comfortable position. You see me when I bench press, I normally have my feet on the bench. I then wiggle around to get myself really locked in, get my traps really locked in, and my shoulder blades nice and retracted. And then I put my feet on the floor. You don't have to set up this way. You can do it without having to have your feet on the bench. But this is just the way that I like to do it. Once you've done that, your feet is on the floor. You want to kind of shuffle a little bit to make sure that you're really nice and tight. You're pulling your shoulder blades in the whole time. You have someone to help you to offload the weight. I usually have someone to help me, especially after I get up to a certain weight. Anything above 130, 120, I pretty much need someone to offload. It's a bad habit, to be honest, but I usually like to have someone to help me with the weight, and I just concentrate on performing the movement. If I'm doing this and I'm bringing the weight to the starting position, I could get out of position there, and that's not what what I want. Once you're in this position here, you want to think about keeping everything nice and tight. Core stability is very, very important, so you don't want to lose tension. The tension should be there the whole time, and you want to raise your chest up as much as you can, because whilst raising your chest up, you're also pulling your shoulder blades back. So it's a good cue to be able to keep yourself nice and upright. So legs digging down, your feet is digging down and forward into the floor to generate leg drive. The first thing you need to do once the weight is in position is lower it down slowly, nice and controlled. Once it hit your chest, as it's coming down, by the way, you're going to be getting your chest up. So you're meeting the bar with your chest. When it hits your chest, that is when you're meant to initiate your leg drive. So push down and forward into the floor as fast as you can. This is where footwear becomes very important. If you're trying to get a big bench, you can't be benching with some nonsense shoes. Like, you need something with a nice grip where you can actually push down and forward into the floor to generate leg drive. So what I basically mean by this is when you're pushing down, this energy is literally going up from your legs to your core, to your shoulders, to your chest, where you're able to press it a little bit more. If you've got no leg drive, you're going to significantly reduce the amount of weight that you're pressing. As soon as it hits your chest, leg drive and explode up. Try to keep your elbows at about a 45 degree angle. Everyone is slightly different, but try to keep them tucked in. You don't want them to be too flared out, because you're going to put your shoulders in a really bad position. For the most part, every time your arm is abducted, it's out to the side, your shoulders are going to be put in a bad position. So you want to always try to keep your shoulders in and your elbows in to protect your shoulders. So leg drive, retract the shoulder blades, control it on the descent, explode up using leg drive on the way up. Make sure your abs are nice and tight, your core's nice and tight. Taking an inhale at the top to brace. If you're getting really heavier in the place that you're putting on, of your bench press is getting heavier, and you want to put a belt on, you can do so. It will help you to brace. But deep breath in before you lower the weight down, contract, explode up, repeat. Okay, the bar path shouldn't just be directly up. Okay, it should be almost like you're pushing up and slightly back, up and slightly back, because that is the most efficient bar path for the bench press. Quick other tip as well, you want to make sure that when you're pressing, all of the weight is going through your pinky. Okay, this is going to allow you to be able to stimulate your triceps more for the second half of the lifts, especially if this is the part of the movement where you're lacking. So think about putting all of the weight on the outer edge of your palm, your pinky. Okay, so think about squeezing, and all of the pressure is going through that part. It's going to allow you to be able to stimulate your triceps a little bit more to lock the movement out. Okay, so that is the technique. There's a lot more that goes into it, but focus on those points to start off with. Strip the weight, record your set, review, and then we go again. After you've bench pressed numerous times, you've worked on your technique, you reviewed your form, the third tip is going to be to have a periodized training regimen. This means that you've got everything mapped out for the next couple of months. Maybe you can even just do like a 3-month cycle to start off with. This is where you can either pay a coach for this, you can go online, do a little bit of research. It allows you to be able to plan out where you're going heavy, when you're going light, where you're taking a rest day. The last thing you want is to go to the gym and be training heavy all the time. Olympic swimmers and professional weightlifters, they really only ever go through a PB maybe once in competition, or maybe one time in training throughout the whole year. You don't need to kill yourself all the time. If you're going heavy all the time, you're going to completely fatigue your central nervous system. You're going to be very fatigued, and you're not going to be able to perform effectively in the following sessions. So this is why a periodized training regimen is very useful. Just a general guideline, and for strength training, you want to stick around 75 to 95% mark. Okay, maybe even higher, 80 to 95% mark, and you want to be doing around 5 reps, 3 reps, 2 reps, 1 rep. Okay, that rep range. Okay, so 5 sets of 5, 3 sets of 3, 5 sets of 1. All of the lower rep ranges, but higher intensity, because obviously if you're pushing yourself going high intensity in terms of the weight, you're not going to be able to do 12 reps at like 80-90% of your 1 rep max. It's just not going to be possible. And periodized training as well This is also going to incorporate having like adequate rest periods within your session, making sure that you're resting enough, okay? If you're lifting a lot of load, you need to also make sure that you're recovering enough to be able to do your next set effectively. Like I said, technique is very important. If you're fatigued because you've just done 85-90% of your 1 rep max for like 3 reps or something like that, you need to rest, okay? So take 5 minutes, take 6-7 minutes if you need. Bodybuilding is about a minute, okay, maybe 2 minutes, maybe a little bit less even sometimes. You want to get the lactic acid into the muscle as fast as possible. You want to feel the burn. For weight training, you can afford yourself a longer rest interval because it takes longer for yourself to recover. You're lifting a lot of load. So periodize your training, map it out, get a coach to help you, get someone experienced to help you to do that. Make sure that you're getting your rest days, make sure that you're getting your deload days, and then when you need to, go for your 1 rep maxes, go for your higher numbers, and then work on your mobility work, work on your stretching so that you're fully recovered to go again. So periodize your training. And number 4, make sure that you're working on your weak points in order to get over training plateaus, okay? So everyone has weak points, no one's perfect. Some people might have a really strong drive of their chest and then it's slower at the top. Some people might have a slow drive of their chest and then it's fast at the top. Some people might have weak shoulders, some people might have 0 arch, some people might have no core, low leg drive. The list is endless, okay? Make sure that you focus on specific weak points. The way that you can do this, for example, if you're slow off your chest, do pause bench press. If you're slow at the end range, do close grip bench press because you're working your tricep strength, which is going to allow you to be able to finish the lift a lot faster. If you're struggling with leg drive, strip the weight and literally just concentrate on getting that feedback, that proprioceptive feedback, the ability to know where your limb is in space, know where your body is in space. Get that feedback by reducing the weight, pushing down and forward into the floor. That's all you need to do for the first 3 sets, okay? Just focus on the leg drive. It can be quite tricky to get the feeling and the coordination of having a good leg drive. It's something that took me time to really master. And when you master this, honestly, it's a cheat code. Because even if you're not feeling amazing, you just know that as soon as that weight hits your chest, generate as much leg drive as possible and then get the weight up. Your legs are big and strong, so utilize them. Another thing that you can do as well is spoto presses, okay? You can also do tempo presses, pause bench press. All of these different bench press variations are going to be very beneficial to you in increasing your bench because they will all work on a variety of different bench press stages, okay? All of these different variations are quite closely linked to the bench press. What you don't want to start doing is loads of other different exercises that train the chest but actually don't have any correlation to allowing you to grow your bench press. So you don't want to start doing loads of flies, loads of like push-ups, stuff like this. You want to keep it as specific as possible. That's why you find out all of the different bench press variations that I gave you. Pause bench press, 1 or 2 second pause. You can go a little bit longer if you want. Spoto press, or hitting your chest, keeping the constant tension throughout the whole time. Close grip bench press, wide grip bench press, Larsen press, having your feet off the bench, and then working on just pure chest drive and keeping your upper body tight rather than leg drive. All of these variations are literally using the barbell. I'm not doing a dumbbell press, I'm not doing a dip, although weighted dips actually can help you a little bit. But for the most part, keep it very, very specific. Keep it very, very specific to the bench press because it's going to have the most amount of transferability for when you're trying to get higher numbers. And number 5, this one a lot of people neglect, is warming up properly, okay? Very important that you warm up properly because it's going to allow you to be able to actually prime yourself before you bench press. You're going to stretch, become more mobile. It's going to increase your range of motion. All of these things are very important in allowing you to be able to perform the bench press adequately. For example, before you bench press, you need your back to be full of blood and you need it to be nice and tight and nice and rigid. So a way that you can do this is by doing some pull-ups or doing some lat pull downs, okay? This is also going to allow you, I've found, to eliminate cramps. When you have an arch, when you're bench pressing, sometimes your lower back can cramp up a little bit. But if you're stretching your lats all the way up and all the way down and squeezing all the way up, all the way down, this is going to allow you to have more mobility and you're less likely to cramp up. Do exercises like the cat-cow, okay? So it's basically when you get on all fours and you're mobilizing your spine, okay? Better arch, shorter range of motion, increases your bench press. So another thing that you can do as well is get a ferro band and do some band pull-up arts, okay? Retracting your shoulder blades again. cueing for getting yourself nice and retracted when you're on the bench to be able to allow you to have a stable structure to push from. You can do some rope pull downs as well, tricep pull downs, and warm your triceps up a little bit. Again, very vital to get your triceps nice and activated. I've actually found that this one specifically helped me to get 185 kg because I only implemented it a few sessions before and I realized that it made a massive difference, and since then I've started to implement it more and more. A few warm-up techniques that you can also do is for the first couple of sets, literally just do the bar. Just really just work on your technique, okay? Retracting your shoulder blades back, leg drive, bracing, the bar path, everything that I've stated in this video, really knuckle down on that, okay? There's loads of other different warm-ups that you can do, but the main thing is you're opening up your chest, you're cueing and you're really mentally priming yourself before you lift. Your back is nice and warmed up, so you're pushing from a stable structure, okay? It's a mental game as well, so warming up, you're getting yourself in the zone, you're hyping yourself up, the pre-workout's kicking and you've got the right music on. So it's a process, it's like a ritual, so treat it like one and don't skip them as well. And then just for some bonus points as well, think about your rest and recovery. Make sure that you're doing your mobility work whilst you're not at the gym, ice baths, foam rolling, stretching, all of this kind of stuff. Make sure that you're actually eating enough food as well. Usually when I'm on a bulk, that's when my bench press goes up, I usually find. So if you eat more, you're going to be able to bench a little bit more. So you can even think about the food that you eat on the day. So do a little bit of carb loading. So don't eat too many carbs the days prior, the day before, and the day of your lift. Eat a lot of carbohydrates, okay? Eat a lot of rice and eat a lot of fast releasing carbohydrates as well. Maybe you can get one of those energy boosters. But yeah, think about your nutrition, think about your mobility outside of the gym and your rest and recovery as well. Make sure that you take those things very seriously because they're going to play a massive factor. That is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of that. That is a lot of information that I know that has helped me a lot to improve my bench press, getting me to bench press 185 kg. And if I wanted to go higher, I can if I just implemented those things consistently. So a massive part of this as well, guys, is you need to do these things consistently, okay? You need to do it. You can't just do it for a week, do it for a month and then say, oh yeah, it's not working. You need to do this for months and months and years to be able to actually put on the big numbers in your bench press. If that was useful, leave a like down below, comment down below what the most useful tip that you found from this video and what you would like me to answer pertaining to the bench press. If you enjoyed this video, if you're new to the channel, welcome, join the community and consider subscribing if you got some value out of this video. Till the next video, guys.